This is BYU Sports Nation, brought to you by the BYU Store, simulcast on BYUtv and BYU Radio. Now, from Studio B, here's Spencer Linton and Jarom Jordan.
BYU Sports Nation is live, your day-to-day play-by-play in Studio B, presented by the BYU Store, official outfitter of BYU fans everywhere. Wednesday, June 1st. It's June!
Wow.
Wherever and however you're connected, great to have you with us. I am Spencer Linton, teamed up alongside a man who is looking forward to Corbin Kaufusi's third act as a professional football tight end, Jarom Jordan.
He really made some waves with that catch, to the point of Undisputed discussing, is he going to get a look in the NFL, right? Skip!
Yeah, Shannon Sharp was like, that's my route!
I know tight ends.
That's my play!
Skip! Yeah, good on Corbin because he's worked super hard. Bronson's super hard, trying to still make it in the NFL, I think. Corbin right there. It's like, can one play change your life? Can one moment change your life for better or worse? Absolutely. Be ready for that moment, right? By the way, this morning I met a Jarom with dreads.
How was that?
Jarom
Worlds
with
colliding?
Dreads.
Worlds colliding.
We took a photo. It was awesome. And I was like, should I get dreads was the question I asked myself.
Wow, is that your next
That would be
hair
awesome.
challenge?
Do you not wash it for a long
adventure?
time? Like, is that the part of the deal? I don't know. Like, does anyone? I'm asking the raw audience here. Who knows how to get dreads? Can you imagine? That would be awesome, right?
We need to call in our resident hairstystylist. Jerem is wondering how often he has to or doesn't have to wash his proposed dreadlocks.
Sorry, call Kyle Beckerman, UVU assistant coach. Nothing?
Oh,
Okay.
Jerem.
I don't have the number. Dang it. That'd be funny, right?
Never cease to amaze me.
My wife said that too the other day. You know, she's like, "Are there other options?" Skip.
Hey, you brought up Undisputed. Today's show lineup, undisputedly awesome. It includes, arguably, our most controversial question of the day.
Incredible.
In the history of BYU Sports Nation.
I am just torn on the answer here.
More so than whether or not to get dreadlocks. It's next level.
That one's easy. It's a yes.
Hans Olsen will join that conversation amidst the controversy. The NFL and BYU football alumnus also adding why he thinks BYU football could hit the 10-win mark again this season.
Go!
And the sure number of draft picks that he believes would be selected if the NFL draft happened tomorrow. We know Jaren Hall's on that list, which takes us to our BYU Sports Nation headlines.
Jaren Hall is a Tier 8 QB, according to David Hale from ESPN, putting him in the 36th through 39th best QBs in the nation. Interesting. Earlier this week, Hall was listed as the 6th best NFL QB prospect, according to Mel Kiper. So, all over the board a little bit for Jaren, but still considered upper third in college football.
Alex Barcelo is pursuing his own professional dreams. He posted on his Instagram account that he worked out for the Memphis Grizzlies recently. Left BYU starting all 94 games he played in. Number 4 scorer in the West Coast Conference last year at just under 17 a game. He also had a pre-draft workout with the San Antonio Spurs earlier this month.
New track and field rankings have the Cougar men at 4th in the nation, women at 14th, heading into nationals next week in Tracktown, USA, a.k.a. Nike Town, a.k.a. Phil Knight Town, a.k.a. Eugene, Oregon. Starting on June 8th, men are sending 12 qualifiers, women are sending 9.
Ashley Hatch and the Washington Spirit play the Chicago Red
Washington
Stars. The Spirit.
Oh, the Spirit.
That's your thing. 7:30 Eastern
Spirit.
in Leesburg, Virginia. Hatch currently the number 3 scorer in the National Women's Soccer League.
Wait, I thought you were doing Sons of Provo with me. You weren't? Elijah Bryant had 16 points, 8 boards for Anadolu Efes in Turkey in a 7-point win against Galatasaray. That's not how you say it. Last night, same 2 teams in the semifinals tomorrow afternoon. They're going deep in it. It's June, man. It's like the NBA Finals over there.
All rise and shout. It's time for What's Trending.
You're talking about it, and so are we. It's What's Trending on BYU Sports Nation.
Oh, the controversy. As always, What's Trending presented by Bodyguards. Protection for a life worth living. Learn more at bodyguards.com. Jarom, we are stirring the pot today.
Go.
We are starting to see these
Are
trends.
dreads an honor code violation? That's our question of the day.
We are beginning to see these trends develop on social media where you take a group of great things, and you're like, okay, you got to get rid of some of these. And it's like,
and it's hard.
I don't want to. I want it all.
I want it now.
So we're joining the trend today.
Let's go. We liken it unto ourselves.
You have to erase 3 games from the existence of BYU football.
Oh, that's difficult.
We have listed out 12 epic games.
Yep. Let's list it.
You have to remove 3 to keep the 9. Okay? Mm-hmm. So which 3 are you removing? We'll start with Beck to Harline, 2006, BYU at Utah. The Mangum Miracle, BYU at Nebraska in 2015. The win over number 1 ranked Miami to launch Ty Detmer's Heisman campaign in 1990. The Miracle Bowl with Jim McMahon. 2009 overtime walk-off winner, Hall to George. And in that same season, to begin, number 20 BYU upsets number 3 Oklahoma and the reigning Heisman Trophy winner Sam Bradford. Okay, Jarom, take us to the back half of this 12.
1984 Holiday Bowl, win over Michigan. 97 Cotton Bowl, the win over Kansas State. 01 Utah, Doman to Staley. 21 Utah, snapping the streak. The day after the Big 12 announcement. 83 Holiday Bowl, Missouri. Steve Young dancing in the end zone. Late pass there to him. 2019 Tennessee. First off, this only cometh after much fasting and prayer. Okay, this is a hard one.
A lot of back and forth this morning.
2019 Tennessee goes off the board quickly for me. That was an awesome win, but when compared to the others, it's not the same.
Okay.
Oh, and this is where it gets real hard. Real hard. I'm so sorry, Steve. I'm taking 83 Missouri off the board. I'm sorry. I'm taking that one off the board. I'm sorry. I love the Hail Mary with Mangum. I like ones that are non-negotiable. Beck to Harline,
yes.
Miami, Miracle Bowl,
yes.
84 Holiday,
yes.
97 Cotton. Like, no question. Like,
okay.
Not even close.
Okay.
Those stay. Yes, bold them so we know.
I'm bolding them as we're doing this.
In our Google Doc. Peek behind the curtain.
So there are 5 that are non-negotiable.
Non-negotiable, okay? So I've eliminated 2. The third one I do, because it's hard to eliminate a win versus Utah. But I'm going to do it. This one was not as dramatic. It was in control. Yes, I know it snapped the streak, but I'm doing 21 Utah.
You're getting rid
I'm taking 21
of the
Utah
greatest
off.
Weekend in BYU football history.
Yeah, you didn't say win versus Utah or game there. You said weekend. Okay, it's the combination.
So the Utah win streak is still alive. You take that one off the board.
We're about to end it, in 2 years, whatever. No, yes. I love 09, like Max Hall's final home game. I hate Utah. I hate their fans.
Okay.
That whole thing.
Okay.
I love that. I really do. 01 Utah, special game. Undefeated team, down 11 with 6 minutes to go. Incredible. You can't lose this. The win over Oklahoma, huge. Whole nation watched that game. BYU flies into the top 10 at that point. Those are my 3, and it's extremely difficult.
It is very difficult.
So hard, but so fun, right? Yeah.
Okay.
What you got?
As much as it pains me, because I was there at Rocky Top, and it was incredible.
It's just
incredible.
It's just not like when we're talking about Miami and Oklahoma, they're like in the top 5 at the moment.
Yes.
You know what I mean? Like program-defining, program-changing type of wins. That's the first one that kind of sticks. Yeah.
Yeah, 2019, the experience of it all and the improbability of it was incredible. The atmosphere, almost 100,000 fans, SEC, that one goes for me. Okay, so 2019 is off the board.
He's now 6-6.
Off the board. Still going to a bowl game.
Still excited to lose to Hawaii.
Okay. So that one's off the board. I know I'm going to get some flack for this one.
Sure.
But, probably 2001 Utah.
Oh!
Doman to Staley.
How dare you?
Yeah, that one's probably off the board.
Why?
One, I wasn't there.
Wait, so it's about whether your butt's in
for
the
me, absolutely. And how did that season finish?
12-0. I don't remember the last 2 games. What happened?
12-2.
Wait, what?
It got BYU to, at that time, it was 11-0 because they had to go play Mississippi State, and then Luke Staley broke his leg. Yeah, that's 2001 off the board for
me. If you tell me Luke Staley doesn't break his leg if BYU doesn't play that game or loses it, I might take that.
Okay.
You know what I mean?
Sure.
Yeah.
Sure.
But we don't have.
We're talking program defining, like program
Is there a timeline
changing.
where Luke Staley doesn't break his leg in 2001 in the multiverse?
An alternate universe, yes.
In the multiverse.
So
we have a name for it.
It wasn't like we're talking about program defining.
That's
like,
how you look at it.
Yes.
Well, then 84 Pitt should be on this list. You know what I mean?
I wanted 84 Pitt on the list. I
Yeah.
was voted off the island in that regard.
But they were 3-7-1 that year. They doth stink.
It launched the national championship campaign, but we at least had the 84 Holiday Bowl in there, non-negotiable. Okay,
Yeah.
So 0-1 Utah,
yeah, no question.
0-1 Utah because of how that season finished, off the board. BYU had won Lavelle's last miracle the year before, whatever.
But Utah.
Okay, so there's one more that needs to come off the list.
What is it?
And man,
Have you decided right now? Have you already decided?
Yeah, I have, but now I'm second guessing it.
I know. I was like, have you not decided? Like, and that's okay.
I'm almost second guessing it.
We just have time to.
I can't do it. I can't do it to my guy Steve Young. I can't do it.
Okay, so what are you doing?
I was going to take off 83, but I can't do it to you, Steve.
I did it to you, Steve.
Oh, man. Jarom, I'm probably going to go with another Utah game. 2009.
Let me guess, because you weren't there.
No, I was there.
Oh. Your butt was in the seat.
I was there.
You're taking away
yes.
win, the only overtime win, the Max.
Max Hall had already beaten Utah twice, or like BYU had beaten. Well,
once.
he beat him.
He beat him once.
He'd already beaten him.
That's me, by the way, in the blue and the hood.
He'd already beat him.
Roll it back and pause it. I'll show you where I am.
Let's listen. The Max Hall curse doesn't get started if we take away that game.
I don't believe that it was a Max Hall curse.
Maybe the 9-game losing streak doesn't happen if. Whatever, take it out the board.
But that win was so good.
I know. It was great. But it wasn't even his final game. He destroyed Oregon State in the Las Vegas Bowl.
Who cares about Oregon State? They were P5 not motivated in a bowl game. We're about to be that team.
So I thought I was going to take 83 and Steve off, but I can't do that. The Mangum Miracle didn't have a great impact on a season.
No, but that's a great
play. It was
and
it ruined Nebraska's forever-long non-conference win streak at home.
I don't care about that as much as I care about this just being awesome.
Yes, the Taysom Hill, Tanner Mangum, just the whole thing was a storybook finish.
Yeah.
It was a movie.
It's not about the opponent and their record always. Like, it can be a great play.
Agreed.
Agreed. Because, beating 6 and 5, Michigan by itself doesn't matter. They were 6 and 5.
Too epic.
But it's because BYU is undefeated and ends up number 1 and wins the Holiday Bowl and wins the national championship, obviously. So you can pick and choose what context you want to use whenever you want to use it. That's fine. When we made the top 100 plays, and we were 2 of 3 executive producers on that, we decided that a great play with great context was some of the greatest plays ever. If you had both, then it was the ultimate play kind of thing. Some of these games are like great wins. The context isn't as great. Or great context and the win was whatever. It depends. Back to Harleen is both, right? It's Utah, and they were good, and it's BYU, and it's the last set, and it's boom, no question. Yeah, because this, non-negotiable. This play is, to some, the greatest play in BYU history. To others, the second greatest play in BYU history.
I just got a text message.
No one can say this is the third greatest. It's 1 or 2. I'm sorry.
I'm getting hate already. I just got a text message from my brother.
You getting hate mail?
My brother, he said,
Trev?
"How dare you take 2009 from me?"
Trev? Nice. What's up, Trev? Yeah, you can't take off 09. Yeah. You
this
get rid
of 83,
is so fun / hard.
The Steve dance, it was his
I know.
culminating moment.
I know.
BYU finished number 7 in the country that year. It set up 84.
I know. Let me tell you why this one, this.
Steve, I kept it for you, bro.
Hey, Max, he cut you.
No. Max is in there.
You cut 09.
Max is in there with Oklahoma.
You cut his greatest moment.
Max is in there already with Oklahoma.
You cut his greatest moment.
Is the win over Utah his greatest moment, or is it Oklahoma?
No, it's his greatest moment. Yeah, it's Utah in that manner. Yeah.
Okay. I told you this was controversial.
This is great.
Yeah. What else do you get rid of?
I don't.
People would probably say, "Oh, what? Get rid of the game against Utah last year." Really? You want?
I got rid of it. Because
you want the Pac-12 South banner gone. You want
it already is gone.
The whole
is it up right now?
The whole national rhetoric.
See it.
The whole national rhetoric of BYU dominating the Pac-12 gone.
I don't think that was just Wilner and us. It wasn't a national thing.
Are you kidding me? No, Stuart Mandel.
Yes. Oh no! Oh no! It was only if the
there
game.
Were 10 people.
Hold on. Are we eliminating
it? Reese Davis was in.
Are we eliminating it, or is it a loss?
If you take it away.
Because we're saying eliminate. So there is no loss. BYU's 4-0. Because if it's a loss, that's different. If it's just gone.
Oh, my goodness.
BYU's 4-0 still. Probably played a winnable FBS.
Gone from existence.
It's gone. 4-0 versus
the
the
Big 12
Pac-12.
weekend culminated by the win against Utah.
Let's be honest. We just needed a win against anybody, and it would have been good.
Oh, no, man. Then the losing streak still exists against Utah.
Boo-hoo. 0-9 Utah is a sacred game in BYU history, dude.
I'm not saying it's not.
Yeah. Well, you're saying it's less sacred than 21. That's like
fantastic English.
Let's play this with which books from the Book of Mormon are you taking out? It's like they're all good. Don't take out Book of Jarom, please don't. 15 verses.
Oh boy.
15 verses.
Why did we
shout
do
out
this?
to my guy Jarom Brown at Ernie Sports Daily.
Here's the great news. In reality, you don't have to get rid of any of these. It's fantastic.
That is the
they
great
all
news.
happened, and it's not going away.
When the dust settled, we realized we did not have
not
power
going away.
to go back in time and eliminate any of these.
Okay.
So we're good.
Let's hear from you, BYU Sports Nation.
Which games do you hate the most?
In voice of the nation.
This is the voice of the nation on BYU Sports Nation.
Ooh, man, this is tough.
Eileen Dunn to me. Are you kidding me, Jarom? 83, Steve Young, touchdown on a flea flicker from Eddie Stinnett. Steve Young, keep it. I love the play, too. I just have to take 3 out here. It's hard.
Man, oh, man.
What are you going to take out? What if someone's like, back to Harleen, Miami, and the Miracle Bowl? Those are the 3 I lose. It's like, you know what? You're officially banned from BYU Sports Nation.
We could do a list of like 10 or 12 of just wins against Utah.
Let's do some of the worst plays in BYU history and do the same thing. Where we're like, crap, we have to keep 9 of these.
Keep 9 of these.
Heaps Butterball 2011, Beck 05, San Diego State.
One of the Taysom Hill injury plays.
No, we're not doing injuries.
Johnny Linton, 4th and 19.
Yeah, we're not doing injuries though. No. That's like too.
You have to keep
serious.
9 of these. You get to remove 3 of them. Congratulations.
Which 9 are you keeping?
Ugh. Gerald Nichols on Instagram says, if anyone takes away the 1984 Holiday Bowl, they are banned from Cougar Tales for life.
Hey, man, I get it.
I would take away 2019 Tennessee.
That's like consensus, it feels like, with people. Yeah.
So it was between that and 84 Pitt, and anyway, there were some other like that.
84 Pitt's not on our list.
That's clearly number 12 in this, right?
Yeah,
2019 Tennessee.
Yes.
He would also take away 2009 OU. So no win over Sam Bradford and Oklahoma to open up that season.
They were 8-5. They were good. Like Pitt in '84 was 3-7-1. They were terrible. But yes, that launches you in. You hope that team's not as good as their record, because if they are, you probably aren't winning.
He would also take away the Mangum Miracle.
More people have been saying that. Yes. I'm surprised by that one. Like, oh, we already had a Hail Mary in 80. We're good. Like your Hail Mary quota has been checked for 42 years.
The context of that game with Taysom Hill having to leave, and in comes Tanner Mangum.
Yeah, helmet doesn't even fit.
Chuck it up. Like that the whole storyline is epic. Like BYU fans, we could make a movie about that game. Like about that buildup.
Gosh, I wish we worked at a media company that could do that.
Now, I don't know if I think it's Jarrell. Yeah, it's either Jarrell or Jarrell. Okay.
Like, is it Jerome or
There's only one R. So
Ron?
Jarrell. I think it's Jarrell. Anyway, he adds those games, Tennessee, Oklahoma 2009, and the Mangum Miracle, have asterisks by them for weaker teams.
Michigan '84 was a weak team, so careful there.
But that culminated the national championship.
Right, but you can't say this is your context and then not acknowledge your context. but it's like, yeah, Michigan wasn't good. Like, one score game against a bad team. Like, it happens. Okay, coming up, what's the BYU QB version of the match?
Hans Olsen's going to remove 3 of these games from this epic list as well.
Yeah.
He will also tell us how many draft picks BYU for sure has and what his win expectation is. Oh, yeah, and he balanced the ladder with a bike on top of it on his chin yesterday.
What?
This is BYU Sports Nation.
What?
This portion of BYU Sports Nation is presented by Bodyguards. Protection for a life worth living.
Quick crack. Wash all you want. Don't drive dirty.
BYU Food to Go's convenient location at 2191 North Canyon Road in Provo makes bringing popular BYU foods to your next event easy. Everything's ready when you need it at the drive and load pickup. You drive in and they load no matter the weather. And stop in the on-site creamery for great BYU chocolate milk and ice cream. BYU Food to Go, bringing campus to your table. Call for details, 801-422-5001.
Introducing the Truck for Adventure. The all-new 2022 Nissan Frontier doesn't compromise on power or comfort. This midsize truck was redesigned to incorporate the latest technology and designs for safety, comfort, and convenience. Plus, with up to 6,700 pounds of towing capacity and best-in-class horsepower, it's rugged enough for adventure and still safe enough to transport all your favorite people. Where's your new Frontier? You'll find it at Tim Dowling Nissan Southtown and South Jordan.
You know what's going on right now? You guys are actually on a show called Random Acts,
where we do awesome, wonderful things for awesome, wonderful people.
Hi, Mom.
Welcome home. Waiting to greet you.
I know your voice.
Today, we wanted to do something nice for you. Is that cool? Is that okay?
My heart is so full. It's just amazing. I never thought that this would happen.
BYU Sports Nation is presented by the BYU Store, official outfitter of BYU fans everywhere.
Once upon a time, BYU banned YouTube. That's not the case now, which is very nice. You can subscribe to the BYU Sports Nation channel for interviews, highlights, full episodes. Do it today.
We are live in Studio B with your day-to-day BYU Sports play-by-play. I am Spencer Linton, teamed up alongside Jarom Jordan. It is our pleasure to welcome in one of our favorites, former BYU football standout, Hans Olsen, who is also a big-time radio personality host in Salt Lake City. Yeah, shock is all around. Hey, Hans, you stole the show yesterday on social media in the BYU universe with a stunt that you'll never live down. You balanced a ladder that had a bike on top of it on your chin, and your son documented all of it, and now he's picking up, well, dog poop for the rest of the summer because he didn't think you could do it.
Darn right, man.
How did this all come about?
Well, number one, I'm never going to lose to my son. Number two, I did the math. I've got 2 dogs. They go about twice a day. So we've got 4 duties per day. We go about 100 days through summer. That's 400 duties. And I thought to myself, I'm not picking up all that. So how am I going to sucker my son into this? I actually sharked him a bit. I put the ladder up there and I was wobbly and I'm like, oh man, I don't know if I can still do it anymore. And he's like, oh shit, I told you you're supposed to be better than this. I was like, hey, look, here's the deal. You want to get serious about this? I'll throw this bike on top of the ladder and I'll put it on my chin, but you're going to be doing doggy duty all summer long. He took the bet. I put the ladder up. I still got it, man. I still got it.
Still got it.
I am going to go for 2 bikes because now he's put on the line that he'll mow the lawn through the entire summer.
Wow.
And that might be worth it too.
Hold on. Shouldn't he be mowing the lawn during the entire summer as well? I'm just thinking back to my youth. My stepdad's like, hey, this is your thing. I was like, all right.
So that young man is very active in sports, wrestling camps, football camps.
I get it.
He's gone. So what is going to happen is he's going to do this at night. He's going to do the camp during the so he's going to have double duty. It's going to be tough for him.
Do you wish David Letterman still had the Late Show? Because you could have totally been on that, right? Like, did you do this at BYU?
So ask Duff Tittle about this next time you talk to him. He was trying to get me on David Letterman's crazy people tricks or whatever.
Yeah, stupid human tricks.
ESPN, the magazine came in and they were like, so you got this guy that's kind of a weirdo? And Duff's like, yeah, he's a real weirdo. And they're like, how weird? And he's like, you could put a dog on top of a table and balance it on his chin. And there I was, the full spread in the middle of ESPN, the magazine, balancing a dog on top of a table on my chin. It was
that's awesome. That's amazing.
Hans Olsen, former BYU defensive and NFL defensive lineman with us on BYU Sports Nation.
That's all we want to talk about. Thanks, Hans. Appreciate it, man.
He's got an incredible
Thanks for the time, guys.
He's got incredible amounts of talent. And a shout out to your son, Tommy Rock Olson, as well, for recording all of that.
Social superstar.
Yes, and giving us this incredible topic on June 1st of 2022. Okay, Hans, in less important matters, we are looking at what Mel Kiper has revealed recently on ESPN and some ESPN Plus content, that he has 4 different BYU football players in their respective top 10s and positions going into next year's NFL draft, which has us thinking, okay, is BYU pacing for something that they've never done before? I mean, in the modern era, the most draft picks have had in the single draft is 5. They tied that in 2020. Are we pacing for a record-breaking something in 2023?
We may tie the record. I think I've got 4 guys that, if the draft were to happen tomorrow, I think that they would be drafted, and they'd probably be drafted pretty well. 4th, maybe 5th round for Clark Barrington. But I've got 4 guys that I really think would go tomorrow if the NFL draft were to happen. And then I've got a mix of 4 other guys that would be in the conversation. I don't think they've done quite enough right now. I think there's still too many questions on them to say that they would go right now. But I've got 4 guys I think would go tomorrow if the draft happened.
Name names.
All right, we'll start with Jaren Hall. I think that Jaren's done enough as a quarterback to impress the NFL scouts that he's a draftable quarterback. And there's a couple reasons for that. Number one, I think that he's more of a pocket threat than what most people give him credit for. Number 2, he can still throw well on the move. So he doesn't have to move to hit with accuracy. He doesn't have to move to hit with depth. He can throw from the pocket, and that's what I think most NFL GMs really want. Now, you do want to have the ability to throw in the mix of a little bit of movement, and Jaren can give that to you. So Jaren still can prove a lot, and I think he can move up the board more, but I think he's a draftable quarterback right now. I think that BYU's got 2 draftable offensive linemen right now. Clark Barrington is probably a 5th or 6th round pick, but I think he would go. I think he's aggressive enough of a guard. I think he's durable. I think he's nasty. He's a grinder. He's really good in pass sets, great in double teams, fantastic on backside cuts and all those things. So love what Clark Barrington can do. I think that James Breeland is probably the most draftable athlete in the state of Utah.
Oh, yeah, Blake Breeland. He might be a top 15 pick.
Legit.
Well, so I do want to throw this out there because when I saw Blake Breeland's measurables coming in as a freshman, and I saw his flexibility, his mobility, his movements, and then the fact that he was a quarterback now moving to offensive tackle, that is you never see that. Like, you never see an offensive tackle that has experienced what it's like to be hit on the blind side, and an offensive tackle that understands quarterback pocket movement. So if I'm getting a quick rush and I take my guy all the way deep, I know if I give him just this little extra shove that the quarterback can step in the pocket, make the throw. I have a really good understanding of what the quarterback needs in that pocket. So you've got something really unique. Plus, he's got gorilla length arms. I don't know. He's whatever his wingspan is, got to be close to 7 feet. And he's got that insane height. He's got great mobility and flexibility, and he's got really good strength. He could improve on his strength, and he could probably improve on a few areas, but I think that Blake Breeland is a big-time pick. And then the last one that I've got slotted is Puka Nacua. I think that Puka is primed and ready to have a breakout season, and I'm expecting that from him this year. I expect Puka to have a big year. Now, defenses are going to key on him, and they play some good defenses. So defenses are going to key on him, and that's why you've got to have a guy like Gunnar Romney who's keeping teams honest. And I expect that from Gunnar. I expect that from guys like Dallin Holker and other offensive threats that BYU is going to have to take some of the pressure off Puka so that Puka can have the season he should and needs to have. But I think that he's a draftable athlete with his speed. I think Sampson was just on the outside of the draft, just barely. I think Puka is going to be on the inside.
Hans Olsen of the Zone Sports Network in Salt Lake City. Fantastic radio host, former NFL and BYU football standouts with us on BYU Sports Nation. Okay, you referenced the 4 that you feel like would be drafted tomorrow. I'm looking at guys like Peyton Wilgar, maybe a Keenan Peely. I know Malik Moore is getting a little bit of additional interest. Isaac Rex is a guy that Mel Kiper really likes. Yeah, who are the guys that are just on the outside that could really make a name for themselves and push themselves into the draft?
Well, believe it or not, I think an offensive lineman, even like Joe Tukuwafu, is probably right there on the board on it. Did you guys know, like everybody makes fun of Britton Covey for how long he played in college football? I believe that Joe Tukuwafu was a 2014 recruit. 2014.
Britton Covey's like, whoa!
Yeah. Britton's like, hey, talk about this guy. But if Joe can stay healthy, I know that his age is going to be a problem, but I actually think he's got the skill sets that make him a possible NFL offensive lineman. You know, we talked about Gunnar Romney. Gunnar Romney could get into the discussion. I love Max Tooley's aggressiveness. I just think that Max needs to improve on some of his responsibilities. You know, I think that I mentioned Dallin Holker. Dallin Holker is that new age type tight end that could be a possibility. You mentioned Keenan Peely. I think that Keenan Peely's injury history is going to be a problem, but I think that he could find his way through. Pepe Tanabasa is a guy that I've got a lot of respect for. You mentioned Peyton Wilgar. If Peyton Wilgar stays healthy and has himself a good season, he's certainly in that conversation. So you've got, you know, you've probably got 10 guys or so that are in that conversation as being draftable. But in reality, if it's more than 4, I'd be pretty shocked. But I expect 4.
Yeah, and listen, we're going to go back to this era. We're going to look at the 2018-19 season and say those were puppies. BYU went 7-6, 7-6. They were building for 11-1, 10-3. This year we think BYU could win 10 again. We're going to go back and go, oh my gosh, look at that group. It was incredible. Let's finish with this, and perhaps we've buried the lead here. Our question of the day, we've put together 12 games. You got to keep 9, but you got to lose 3, some of the greatest wins in BYU history. What 3 are you losing from our list here?
Is the list currently up on the TV? I'm wondering if people can see the list, because
back to Harlan.
This is
Mangum Miracle, Miami, Miracle Bowl, 09 Utah, 09 Oklahoma, 84 Holiday Bowl, 97 Cotton, 21 Utah, 83 Missouri, 2019 Tennessee. What one game would you lose there then?
I'm gonna take 2019 Tennessee off. I'm gonna take. By the way, I'm not gonna remove anything Max Hall. So Oklahoma State. Max Hall, in my opinion, he's my favorite all-time BYU QB. He and Ty Detmer, favorite all-time BYU QBs. So not gonna touch either one of those games, but I'll take Tennessee off. I'm actually gonna take this last Utah game. 2021 Utah off. I know it was great to get off the slide, but I don't know if that's slotted as one of the all-times. And it's really tough to take the Tanner Mangum Miracle. That's the one in Nebraska.
Yeah.
It's really tough to take that one off, but oh man, I don't know if you can take that one off. I think that's it's too much of a legendary, iconic play. Where Mitch Matthews goes up and brings that ball down.
Yeah,
tough, right?
That one's tough, guys.
This is painful.
Not touching anything 96. You know that. 97.
No way.
That 2001 is that Lavelle's last miracle? Is that the one I played?
No, that was 2000. That was a team that you obviously were involved in. It was Doman to Staley in 2001.
Down 11 with 6 minutes left, undefeated.
Yeah, take that one off. Yeah, take that
Keep
one
all
off.
the Utahs on. That's what I say. No, I get it with 21, as we mentioned. But
take that one off and put Lavelle's last miracle on. Still involved Luke Staley.
Dude.
Still involved Brandon Doman.
It was hard for us just to get this list. 212.
Yeah.
I mean, there have been some unbelievable wins in BYU history.
Now, Hans, we need to finish with this in the last 30 seconds of our conversation. We talked about the draft picks, the number of talented guys that BYU has. How do you think that will translate into wins in 2022? What are your expectations for BYU football in terms of wins in the upcoming season?
Well, I like to set them realistically for Kalani. I would hate if Kalani went on a radio station and somebody was like, what is the expectations for Hans? And he's like, oh, man, I think he's Sports Center's lead host. And, you know, if Kalani set these crazy expectations, I'd call him. I'd be like, hey, calm it down, man. I'm never going to hit those numbers. I like to set them realistic, and I like to be fair to the team. I think that 8 is a very realistic number.
Yeah.
I think you beat South Florida in Tampa. I think you beat Wyoming. I think you beat Utah State and Liberty. I think you beat East Carolina. I think you beat Boise State, Utah Tech, and Stanford. I think you beat those teams. And then it's a toss-up amongst the other 4, Baylor, Oregon, Notre Dame, and Arkansas. I think Notre Dame and Arkansas are going to be almost impossible. I think those are 2 very tall tasks. I think you can get one between Baylor and Oregon. So a realistic number is 9 in the regular season. You throw in a bowl game, there's a very good possibility of 10 total through a season. So I expect 10 when everything's said and done. I expect 10, but I'm not going to throw a number of 10 out there for the regular season.
We're with you.
We're right there with you.
Yep.
We are in agreement. Okay, Hans, always fun to talk with you. We can't wait to see your next circus trick and what you're going to balance on your chin next. 2 bikes. Just make sure you're recording.
Hey, BYU fans, you guys are lucky to have these 2. Incredible men with incredible families. They do an incredible job. And the real genius behind these cameras, Ben Bagley, I'm telling you, man, BYU fans better say their prayers that Ben, he doesn't get taken by Sports Center. You guys are fantastic.
I'll Venmo you later.
Thank you, Hans. And another pie is on the way, my friend.
Get those triglycerides right.
You got it. Thanks, Hans.
You bet, guys.
Hans Olsen.
Got my text, it looks like.
Of the Zone Sports Network.
He's awesome.
He's an incredible personality.
Honestly, that's like in a previous life, I'm sitting watching shows like you're watching this now, and now it's fun to like interact with guys like Hans and others that are like, I love these guys. They're fun. So, yeah, we appreciate Hans a lot. That was very nice. Coming up, which 3 games are you losing, and which 9 are you keeping? I mean, this is rough.
It's brutal. Plus, is Marshall Falk the biggest cougar killer of all time? He's got a real case.
Wow.
This is BYU Sports Nation.
Oh, my gosh.
Hi, Spencer Linton here, letting you know when your company joins the BYU team as a corporate partner, your brand can be featured in sports programming on BYU TV and BYU Radio. In addition to all of the great games, you can be part of the BYU coaches shows, place your message in Countdown to Kickoff, basketball pre- and post-game shows, and each weekday on BYU Sports Nation. We invite your team to join ours and become a corporate sponsor of BYU Athletics. For details, email sponsorship@byu.edu today.
Gather the family for a midweek pick-me-up with an all-new lineup Wednesdays on BYU TV.
Is that cool? Is that okay?
You want inspiring? Yeah, we got that. Fun? Definitely. And surprising? Well, you'll just have to find out. Enjoy a marathon of good works to lift and inspire you for the rest of your week. See it all Wednesdays on BYU TV or anytime on the free app.
BYU Sports Nation is brought to you by Maersk, enabling global trade for a growing world.
To interact with the show and get great content throughout the day, or at least we think it is, follow us on our social media platforms of Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, YouTube, and TikTok.
This is a loaded edition of BYU Sports Nation, randomly on a June 1st, all because of a controversial Twitter question.
Not random, it's fate.
Social media question. He's Jarom Jordan. I am Spencer Linton. Let's whip it. Cougar Whip Around presented by Maersk, your integrated container logistics company enabling global trade for a growing world.
BYU Hoops assistant coach Cahill Fennell joined us yesterday to discuss Marshall Faulk running wild versus the Cougars in the 90s. So, is he the biggest Cougar killer of all time?
He's up there. He's top 3 for me, right along there with Kyle Whittingham and Matthew Dellavedova.
Marshall Faulk had greater games than Delly ever did. Delly had that moment, certainly. Kyle is number 1. But Marshall Faulk, in terms of players, dude, his numbers against BYU are like mind-blowing.
His game against BYU as a true freshman in that 52-52 tie were epic.
He had 2 250-plus yard games. All 3 games he went for 100-plus. He had 9 touchdowns total, 827 yards in 3 games. Good thing he didn't play a senior year.
He's running away from Dewey Gray, who was super fast.
Nobody runs from Dewey
Nobody
Gray.
ran from Dewey.
The only other person who's run away from Dewey at this point is Satan. The pastor Derwin Gray doing the Lord's work.
Yeah, Marshall Faulk right there with Kyle Whittingham and Matthew Dellavedova for me.
Speaking of.
A TikTok trend is out there, Jarom, asking what is the biggest scam that no one wants to admit? And Jeff Hansen of 24/7 Sports, BYU blogger, is blatantly attacking the credibility of the AP Top 25 poll. Listen to this.
What's the biggest scam in life that no one wants to admit?
College football's AP and coaches polls. Absolute and utter nonsense. You're telling me that a writer who's been covering the West Virginia game, that he had to wake up, he had to travel to Morgantown and fight the crowds to do his pregame stuff, watch the game, then hang out after the game to interview and get a bunch of coach speak and get yelled at because West Virginia lost and he has to cover this presser. He does all of that stuff. Then he finally gets home and he's going to sit on his couch and he's going to turn on Washington State versus Oregon State and then have a semi-educated opinion on who he's voting for in the AP poll the next day. No, that's a scam. That's not happening.
Now, I agree to an extent, Jarom, okay?
Yeah.
I agree to an extent, but let me ask you, is Jeff right?
He is right, but I don't want to just be like, well, nope, it's all metric-based. Because, like, we don't award the seeding in the NCAA tournament on, like, a single metric-based number. We combine a bunch of things with humans. So is there something like that we can figure out? Because there's always going to be semi-uneducated opinion involved in top 25s, right? That's part of the deal. He's right, but we like the AP poll here because we at least think there's some credibility to that. Coach poll's garbage, but I don't want like SP Plus to be the tell-all. App State shouldn't be 7th in the country because their offense and defense are really good.
The coaches poll, I am with him entirely.
Oh, yeah.
Because it's sports information directors. It's just like, whatever. The AP poll, however, there are so many writers and there are so many votes available that unnamed West Virginia blogger and writer, even if he's not doing, his due diligence, there are enough people that are doing it that I think the AP poll is okay.
Yeah. Okay, tonight TNT will feature this year's version of The Match with Tom Brady and Aaron Rodgers against Patrick Mahomes and Josh Allen, who notably lost to BYU in his final games. If BYUtv were to do a version of The Match, which former or current BYU quarterbacks are you teaming up with to face off against each other?
Jim McMahon and Steve Young are involved, for sure.
Well, what are the comments?
Ty Detmer's involved as well. Okay? The fourth one I don't know about because I know Ty, Jim, and Steve all play a lot and they're all pretty good. Probably Taysom. Probably throw Taysom in there. Yeah. So I'd probably.
So who with who?
Jim and Taysom together, and then Ty and Steve.
Versus Ty and Steve.
Yes.
Okay, I go the runners, Taysom Hill and Steve Young, versus the mountain toppers, Robbie Bosco and Ty Detmer.
Oh, you got Robbie's
national title.
Yes. Robbie's
and
so
Heisman.
good. He's such a good player.
I mean, that'd be pretty interesting. I don't know about Steve's game. I'm guessing it's pretty good, though.
He's the celebrity, right? He's the ultimate celebrity for BYU fans. You got to have him involved.
Maybe he's not good off the tee box, but the ball just like runs up for him. It's just like a thing that in his life always worked, just running. I don't know.
Steve and Ty are hilarious together, and Ty's a really good player, so Ty could help Steve in that regard a little bit.
If it's a scramble and they're playing best ball, it's going to be all right. You just contribute one good shot every now and then. Coming up.
Robbie's an interesting pick.
No, Robbie's legit, apparently. Coming up, Rise shout out to Repping the Y in New Orleans.
And which all-time BYU football wins are a must-keep in our list of 12? Does the 2021 win over Utah to finally break the losing streak of the Utes make the cut? We'll discuss. I've changed my mind, Jarom. I've already been swayed on one of them. Stay with us.
Professor Rock here.
The Food Nanny.
Chandler Scott here.
Samry.
Hey, everyone.
Hello.
I just want to tell you about this amazing,
excellent, cool account called My Style.
My Style checking. I'm talking travel points.
Gift card. Concert tickets.
All just for using my account.
That's My Style.
So check it out.
Give it a shot.
Open your My Style checking account today.
When BYU made such a difference in our lives, I think really helped mold us as to who we are. And so when we had that opportunity and came back to Boise and found out there was an active chapter, we thought, okay, that's something that I can really get behind and get involved in.
We want to promote the BYU experience all over the region. We want people who leave BYU to still stay connected.
Tim Daly Ford in Spanish Fork sells Ford vehicles including the F-150, the pickup designed for work and play. Tim Daly Ford maintains a large inventory, providing more choices for selecting an F-150 with the power and engineering to carry and tow heavy loads. The F-150's design offers comfort, safety, and a range of options to choose from. Think Ford, think Tim Daly Ford in Spanish Fork.
There's nothing quite like doing a live sketch.
Having the audience nearby is really, really neat.
To just be able to connect with them and hopefully make their day better.
When you are doing a sketch and you hear your first laugh, it's just like, here we go, let's go for it.
I mean, one of the most rewarding things is having people saying I struggle with this and this, and you guys are able to make me laugh at it and realize I'm not the only person going through those things.
BYU Sports Nation is presented by the BYU Store, official outfitter of BYU fans everywhere.
Put on your scuba gear Friday for BYUSN's Deep Blue Special Volume 7 featuring Kalani Sitake, Fessy, Neil Pau, Kenzie Kerber, and others. Noon Eastern on Friday. BYUtv, BYU Radio.
Welcome back to BYU Sports Nation live from Studio B. Our question of the day, maybe the most controversial and painful that we've ever put out into the social media stratosphere. You have to erase 3 of these great BYU football games to keep 9. Okay, there's a list of 12. You got to get rid of 3. Which 3 are you getting rid of?
Oh my gosh!
I have admittedly been swayed on one of my picks.
You're not going to die on the hill.
I'm not.
You got bullied by social media.
Yes, I did.
Switching. Okay,
and my brother.
Nice. Okay, so what's your switch?
I'm keeping 2009 BYU Utah. Max Hall to Andrew George, the walk-off.
Okay.
Overtime. Okay.
And what is?
I'm removing the game in that same season at the beginning, 2009 Oklahoma.
Okay. Why?
I just think that the emotions involved in Max Hall beating Utah for the final time in his final home game are greater than winning a game against an 8-5 Oklahoma team.
You're right. Dennis Pitta highlight. Yep, I get it. Remove it.
Are you changing too?
No. No.
Yeah, are you getting rid of that one? Or do you like 09 Utah because Andrew George was the hero and not Dennis?
Maybe that's it. Maybe that's where it is. No, there was that was just such an iconic win. It's overtime with Utah. It's seniors for Max and Harvey and Dennis and everybody. It's Field Storm. But again, there's no justifying what you think the correct answer is because everybody's wrong in this. That's what's fun. There's no right answer to this. Everybody's wrong.
We've thought about a few more that we could throw in that would be tough for BYU fans to mentally tangle with.
Let's just admit that 2019 Tennessee does not belong in this 12. We that was probably a mistake.
Yeah.
84 Pitt.
Lavelle's last miracle in 2000.
Utah. 96
79
A&M.
Texas A&M. The biggest road win by BYU.
Yep. First
real big road
second ranked win ever.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay, at Cougar Stats, friend of the program. We love Cougar Stats. 2021 Utah, 2019 Tennessee, 2009 Utah. My list is impervious to outside scrutiny. Congratulations.
Yeah, he's taking
You're the
a
only
shot.
one.
He's taking a shot at me. I get it, Cougar Stats.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think they tweeted that before you switched.
Okay.
But yeah.
Okay.
At Spencer HJ. Is this your other burner?
Nope.
80, 83, and 84 because I wasn't alive then. I'm going to say something that's going to be controversial. We are close to the point where in the early 80s, we can't be thumping that as hard as we used to be. Let me tell you why. We're a couple years away from that being 50 years ago. Like, think about it. In 8 years, it will be 50 years from the Miracle Bowl.
Sure.
Like, Utah doesn't sit there and tout its 1944 national championship in men's basketball because it's been 80 years. Like, there reaches a point where it was amazing. Don't get me wrong. We're going to celebrate those forever. But when compared to something in the last, 25, it's going to lose some luster in the conversation. I'm not
Better
saying,
win another one then, I guess.
I know. I'm not saying I agree with this philosophy. I'm saying that's how it's going to be. Like, you're going to notice that those drift. Like, do we discuss the 60s and 70s on the show very much? No, because it's been too long ago.
Well, what greatness happened for BYU football in the 60s and 70s?
Gary Scheide won quarterback of the year, Sammy Baugh.
Okay.
BYU went to a New Year's Six game.
Well, the entire decade of the
Gifford
60s.
Nielsen was in the Heisman combo. Like, he won passing time or whatever. Like, 79, Mark Wilson. BYU was 11-0. We don't talk about that team.
That's the first real argument.
We don't talk about that team. We don't talk about Mark Wilson in the same. We probably should. He was a first-round pick. Like, we don't. There comes a point where it's so long ago that it fades away from existence because the people that were at those butts in the seat mattered to you a lot in that conversation. Was my butt in the seat there? And guess what? In the 70s, it was not for a lot of people watching this program. And on social media, we are catering to a younger audience who uses that, right, in those questions. If we were like, who's the greatest ever? It's like, well, you got to bring up Phil Odell. He played in the 60s. Virgil Carter. But they're not going to be in that convo. Trust me, we do our best to be like, Kresmir Chosic is probably the third best player in BYU history or whatever. That's going to start to happen with like Spencer HJ.
It's already happened for a lot of people.
I'm saying even more, where there'll come a point where it just drifts.
Oh, it's already happened for every Utah fan in existence.
Well, who cares about that? But like that, you're staring at Wilson floating away, and you're like, oh my gosh, I can't believe how far away that is now. It's great.
Is that an Inside Out reference? He's in the Lost Memories, and he's going to fade away into.
It's actually a Castaway reference to Wilson the volleyball. That's
okay. Okay. Yeah. At Doug Owens on Twitter. When in doubt, remove that which raised our hopes and then crushed our dreams.
So how BYU finished matters to.
Yeah, man, that matters to me. I'd start with the Mangum Miracle being removed. After that, the oldest events as they are lost to current generations of students since they are events that occurred 10 to 20 years before they were born. So that's just along your ideology.
And I'm saying when those students are 35, in 15 years, like it'll be 50 plus years since the 80s, right? Like I wasn't alive for 80. I was alive for 80. I wasn't alive, barely alive for Steve Young's senior year. But those matter. Like those plays are great, of course.
Caleb J. Hatch on Instagram says, very hard choice. It would be preferable to remove a game like 2018's loss to Northern Illinois or 2017 to UMass instead.
Too soon, Caleb. Quickly on that. So like 2018 lost to Northern Illinois. That helped shape Zach Wilson. That was like a moment in his being a young quarterback, right?
His ascension.
Yeah, because then
growth, his maturity.
You may not get 2020 Zach Wilson without 2018 Northern Illinois. I would argue.
This is an elite tweet of the day or elite voice of the day.
Nom?
Right here at Ames Flames. No. Nope. Can't be done. But I can think of 9 games against that team up north I'd be happy to erase.
That's a great answer. You didn't play the game. We played the game. If you're going to show up, play the game. Let's go. Let's hear your answers. That is funny. Okay, coming up, today's Rise and Shadow.
And today's Elite Voice. Which all-time BYU wins did you choose to cut? And who has the elite voice to back it up?
And why are you wrong, too?
This is BYU Sports
We're all
Nation.
wrong.
This portion of BYU Sports Nation is presented by Delta Airlines. Keep climbing.
Like to be overlooked, to be doubted, to fly under the radar. I only had one offer coming out of high school. but I was ready for every moment, every opportunity, and every shot that I got. Now I'm playing professional basketball, aiming to be one of the best shooters on the planet. And I'm just getting started. Be ready for your moment with Rapid Reboot, the future of rapid recovery.
Away.
It is my duty to keep you safe.
There's no time to lose.
Release the princess or die!
Unbelievable.
You guys came through for me today when I needed it.
After all the times you have come to our aid.
Real love is a different thing altogether.
An evil is rising from the ground.
Sir Dwight. You are Sir Dwight, Desolator of the Undead.
This puddle of pig piddle.
I like him.
He is magnificent.
This portion of BYU Sports Nation is presented by Mountain America, the official credit union of BYU Athletics.
Welcome back to the show. A tweet in from @DerwinLGray.
What's up, Reverend?
Bunch of laughing
Doctor?
emojis. In response to the Marshall Falk play we showed in reference, he said, I ran a 4.55. Marshall Falk ran a 4.29. I helped him to the college and NFL Hall of Fame. I boosted his confidence. Marshall and I talk about this play all the time. They were teammates.
With the Colts, that's pretty cool. Awesome. I love that.
All right, you have to erase 3 games from existence. Which 3 are you getting rid of? Our elite voice of the day, presented by Sundance Mountain Resort, from @JT_Lamoureux on Twitter, says, I don't like this question. Please stop. Hashtag these games mean too much. Hashtag impossible to decide.
This is the elite voice. No answer. JT, I love you. Play the game with us.
It's true. It's tough.
Play the game.
Oh, my goodness.
Ain't no money involved.
Today's Rise and Shout Out, presented by Mountain America, the official credit union of BYU Athletics.
Heather Olmstead's with the Volleyball Nations League Team USA roster. They're competing in Louisiana. Heather Olmstead repping the Y with Karch Cry 2 seats to her left. The Michael Jordan of volleyball.
Well done, Heather. Yeah, go get it done, ladies. Our thanks to today's guest, Hans Olsen.
Started in a spit, ran out of time.
Conversation continues 24/7 on Twitter, Instagram, and Facebook. Use the hashtag BYUSN for Jarom. I am Spencer. Shout out to Andrew George, huh? We'll see you tomorrow on the show if you can handle the drama of what we presented today.
How could you cut that play?
You can't.
You can't cut the Mega Miracle. Come on, man. Come on, man.